One guy that takes knowledge is power to a whole nother level. Brainiac, debatably one of the best prep guys out there. That's literally all he's about. You cannot match my intellect. Brainiac is all about the clones. Every time a hero thinks they beat him, they never really beat him in the first place. Like, because that's a part of being intellectually smart, preparing backup plans. If you get defeated, you got to clone backup to be able to store your consciousness in a small, tiny micro nanite or something like that, right? That's Brainiac for you. That's all he's about. Well, with that being said, he's one of those characters where all the stuff that he creates is a power in general. Like if his ship defeats villains, or if his robots he created defeats a villain, or a good guy, or a bad guy, or both, or defeats a hero with any of his robots, all of that should be a feat for him because that is what he's about. That's his intellect. It all attaches to his intellect, being able to create something that powerful and improve on his defeats to create something that can beat him next time if he does lose. Stuff like that. It just all forms of ways you can look at it. But let's dig right into it. You might hear the name Milton Fine, and then you might hear the names. I just spelled it on screen for you. No grammar nonsense. He was a scientist native to the planet Kolu, very intelligent. He actually had an intellect above his average race, which was still pretty smart. 8th level intellect. His was 12th level to the common Kolu people. He's so smart. He constructed a version of himself, programmed it to thinking it was the original to remain on Kolu. But to start off this video, I'm going to go over the one that thought he was the original one, or once could say the Milton Fine version of him. But before I go any farther, thank you all that have donated to the channel.
Earth's defense is irreversibly compromised.
You have no idea what Brainiac can do.
For years, I believed I had destroyed Krypton. I collect worlds, and then I discard the remnants. I match your strength. You cannot match my intellect.
Remember how I told you earlier how he has a clone that remained on Kolu? It ended up getting destroyed because of fear of him. But, of course, they got backups on top of backup plans. Brainiac said, heck, no, I'm releasing a cloud of nanites to survive. It carried his consciousness over to Earth. That's where he found the Milton Fine body, a circus-named man named the Amazing Brainiac. He invaded his mind. It turns out Mr. Fine did have, indeed, psychic powers, and Brainiac modified his body even further and used his mind since. Stuff like that, right? I mean, think about it. He took over LexCorp, outsmarted characters like Lex, considering how smart Lex is, which is insanity. Probably the smartest man on Earth. Human man, that is. Yes, I know this is a different look for Mr. Brainiac. We're not used to him having a humanoid type of look. Of course, he has to have many battles with Superman. He had an occasion fighting Superman, attacks him mentally to the point where Superman says, his pull too strong, he's inside my head. Being able to harm the Man of Steel in any type of aspect and give him a run for the money is impressive no matter how you look at it. He can actually leave his body in a sort of a spirit form, or one could say astral form. Brainiac, of course, he would have to be able to do this, right? He even took over a large part of LexCorp, creating probes and making technology work as an asset for him in an aid and effort to control people's minds and mental capacity. He stated field operations will be handled by my new associate, Metallo. Yep, there's Metallo. Ends up expanding his mental capacity, upgrading the dude's body even more, modifying it even further to get new abilities, stuff like that. New tech, stuff like that. New and improved power, new and improved look. This is the look we're more used to, right? This is the type of look you see in media, green, skinish looking skin, you know, stuff like that. Got high levels of power, stated right here, to fight Superman even harder and give him more of a run for the money than before. His telekinetic abilities is even better than it was before. He states, and crush your puny mind. Look at the discomfort in their faces. All these bizarre looking images. Ouch. And this is where he starts creating like ship-like stuff like this, surprising Superman in the process. He took over Duplex. We're not even going to talk about all the different weapons. Yes, he's used his fair share of guns. He created a molecular disruptor. And he considers it not a great weapon, he states here, but certainly enough to absorb your bolts. It can absorb. At the moment in time, he had control over Warworld. Yeah, you know, the place Mongol be controlling. To make people fight in battle arenas type of stuff. And he's also taken control of Kryptonians like Supergirl, for example. As you can see in this particular occasion, it was revealed that it's Brainiac. Even has her stating, Superman is my enemy. Of course he is. And who is your Lord and Master? Usually in comics, usually the stronger tier you are physically, power-wise, you usually have more resistance to stuff like this, depending on how you look at it. But it's one of those hacky things you can't measure with actual strength. It's just a mind thing. But yeah, being able to take over Kryptonians is insane and impressive still, because most superheroes have great willpower, right? He controls the Legion. In this particular court case, he even said, "Can't you see he's controlling your minds?" That's a epic feat of hacksiness, right? He does this to this being known as Metron, a being that just be observing events. Stop abusing people, Brainiac. Of course, mind abuse again, another case with Superman, just handling him with his mind beatdowns. Have you noticed that comic book smart characters always have some type of mind ability? What's up with the writers wanting smart people to have mental beatdown abilities? Like I said before, his ships are a part of his intellect, so whatever his ships do is a feat for him because that's a part of his intellect feat. His ships was able to actually overpower characters like Aquaman underwater, might I add, and incapacitate Aquaman under freaking water, aka Aquaman at his most powerful. To be a Green Lantern, you have to have a certain amount of will. That's literally what they are powered by. So not only can he control a whole bunch of people, but he can control an actual Green Lantern and a group of other metahumans, all at the same time. Isn't willpower the #1 thing that counters mind control? By the way, he invented a device that can do this. I don't think he can just do this many at the same time without some type of super device helping him out. But that's still a feat for him because that's an intellect feat. Controlling Deathstroke, Booster Gold, Flash, stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. While he was on War World, amping his power with War World, he's able to, like a prep time feat kind of, he can do a mind destruction thing on a large group of characters at the same time. He reminds me of the leader right here, his big old head. Oh yeah, he can knock out a couple of new deities, new gods. Yeah, that's Orion up there at the top. Yeah, knocks them unconscious. Perhaps my greatest accomplishment, a true testament to the power of the subconscious. This is kind of wonky. He kind of did some work by accident by creating a Superman subconsciously. He says, "I wish the dark recesses of my mind made a reality." They stated this: "Are you saying you didn't do this on purpose? That your mind did it on its own?" Like, what? At first, of course, now I am in complete control. Imagine, Superman, you were almost defeated by a man in a coma, and now you'll be defeated by a dead man. He wants to do his bidding and says, "Let go of Brainiac." What the heck is happening here, guys? That same Superman, he kind of jumps in, gets more powered up, I guess. He says, "I'm smarter, stronger, more powerful than ever before." He fights Superman in a powered up state like this, looking epic in that battle feat, being able to keep up with the Man of Steel himself. In this particular occasion, this is more of a physical battle on this round, though. Psionic abilities, though. Then another occasion with Superman, he actually straight up possessed, or one could say inhabited, the Man of Steel, Superman's body. Bruh, he even inhabited Doomsday's body, used his ridiculous power to fight the entire Justice League. Yes, that is Martian Manhunter. Oh my gosh, Wonder Woman. Plastic freaking man. Wonder Woman again with the lasso. Epic encounter. This is freaking epic. Force of nature. Wonder Woman noticed something is off. She says, "Strategic fighting such as this is far beyond your capacity." And that's when it's pretty much revealed to Wonder Woman. "My own mental defenses buried your overconfident friend from the truth." But of course, he eventually gets out of Doomsday's body because that's not going to be his final form, obviously. He has a new robotic body. All these upgrades are only possible thanks to nanites that he holds in his consciousness. Nanites. This one is actually made of Coluan tech from planet Colu. And this is how his form looks right here. He created a whole bunch of javelin-like bombs. It's the Omega Spears, one could say, all over the planet. Grabbed Superman in this occasion, then used those bombs to blow it up. He's improved and point to the point where his vice grip feels like Doomsday states here. Just the absolute monstrosity, another occasion of fighting Superman again, consistently. He states, "My Omega Spears are embedded their planets as well. A simple command and those worlds are done." He has Omega Spears that are powerful enough to planet bust, according to him and his lore. Doesn't really have much contradicting it. But basically, because of the people he fights are planet busters, so it makes sense for him to be a threat in raw power of planet busters. Right? So all this time, I've been going over the clone of the original Brainiac, which thought he was the real thing, of course. Confusing, right? This clone got his consciousness carried to Earth, and that's where he did all that Milton Fine stuff, battling Superman and all that stuff. Basically doing all that Brainiac stuff. And what if I told you the real Brainiac is over there in space, just stealing the most important cities and destroying the planets it originates from, going from world to world, stuff like that. The original Brainiac's over there doing this stuff, where this other clone Brainiac that thinks he's the real Brainiac is over there still causing a lot of ruckus. It's technically him, right? That's why, it's like a backup plan on top of a backup plan. But finally, the true Brainiac made his way to Earth, even though both are still Brainiac still, but that's none of my business. Time to shrink cities and add it to his collection, he says, right? Naturally, being smart, he has force field protect him from Superman's heat vision. By the way, this is a Brainiac probe, by the way. Probe. It even hurt Superman. He said, ow. He has missiles on the ship that's powerful enough to cause supernova explosions. Yes, that's right. He has star erupting missiles just chilling on his ship. Yeah, he has that type of level of power just sitting around in missile format, right? Attack power, just intellect power in general. Madness, ain't it? In several battle feats, he's always consistently to be on the Superman level ranges, even physically, which is kind of confirming he's in the black hole level. In this occasion, be able to sling Superman around, give him a run for money. In the process, these little constraints be able to hold him quickly. His punches are shown to be able to affect Superman. Battle feats wise, being able to catch his blows with his raw strength. He even had the nerve to say, your punches were nothing. The true Brainiac. Shown to have the durability as well. True Brainiac to be able to take blows from Superman, even this kick. Yeah, Superman does kick. For those that be curious about that. Respect Brainiac. Lex Luthor, extremely smart. Don't play brains with Brainiac, Lex. How about the time Lex thought he outsmarted Brainiac? No, you didn't capture him. That was a part of his plan. He says, you are mistaken, Lex Luthor. Brainiac is no one's prisoner. You believe your rudimentary control over my probes and my craft puts you in control of me? No, I allow that, human. So I might be reunited with my bioshell. He thought he had this stuff under control. He said, nah, I'm Brainiac. He's a consistent threat for Kryptonians. I mean, if he's a threat for freaking Superman himself, sorry, Superboy, you ain't ready. Just toss him very far with his strength. Crypto as well gets overpowered. Gets punched by Superboy, punches him back, even makes him bleed, showing his level of strength. He's a consistent threat for Kryptonians, guys. His upgrades have to stop. He's consistently getting upgrades and improvement from his past flaws. He said that Brainiac has returned for us. His probes can even match Kryptonians. His ship was evidently able to endure a blast that destroyed several, they stated, all those people, Kryptonians. His ship just ate it, though. In raw power, he even overpowered Kryptonians like General Zod. That's right. He escapes from Kolu prison that he was imprisoned in. That's right. Because too much knowledge. He's really good at taking over things, taking over control because of his hacking skills. Pulsar Stargate. He outsmarts other Brainiac level beings. He outsmarts Brainiac 2 and 3 in this particular occasion. He's over here hacking. Then they try to make him surrender. They think they got him in this thing called the kill box. This entire chamber is a kill box, completely surrounded. Brainiac was expecting this physical assault, completely figured out their strategy. They were using holograms. He's had to steal something. He needed to be distracted, but he ain't getting distracted long enough for their plan to play into fruition. He even traced their neuron interface. I will empty your minds of what data they contain, leaving you to languish in a vegetable state. He even straight up states, you cannot match wits with me. You don't have the bandwidth. It's pretty obvious where Brainiac ranks, man. He has to be in that Superman ranges of power, obviously, who has ridiculous feats way past the black hole ranges, way past planet buster ranges, stuff like that. I mean, Brainiac has missiles that are literally supernova explosion level at the bare minimum, which is over thousands of times earth-shattering. You know, stuff like that. It's just consistent. Even physically, he's fought characters like Superman consistently in the lore. Brainiac is one of those characters where he's constantly getting stronger, going through a lot of different evolutions like I went in this video. But just to recap real quick, he had this mode, and the most Torious looking mode like this in the post-crisis era. No, I would not be going over New 52. Maybe next time, you know what I'm saying? I showed this earlier, but he does kind of have a form of immortality thanks to nanites. It is a fail-safe solution. Really good form of regeneration thanks to nanotech. It's kind of like when he gets hit by Superman, like on this occasion. You can see him kind of get liquefied, but he kind of regenerates back in like a liquidy state, reforming himself. Strength like the grip, like I showed earlier, in the process, looking like a freaking monster. One of his most major abilities is like being able to possess folks' body, like even the occasion with Doomsday. With prep time, he can get even ridiculous dangerous, can spread like a plague, even throughout the entire universe. Brainiac 13, it states here, utilizing this unfathomable power, he will spread like a virus, quite literally infecting planets, conjoining them into his celestial body, dominates the solar system, the galaxy, the freaking universe. This reminds me of the Infinite Zamasu stuff from Dragon Ball Super.
It seems he's embraced this new ethereal state. He may be trying to become part of the very fabric of the cosmos.
This is kind of what Brainiac did when he kind of stole the essence of Imperiax. With a big enough power source, he would be like a universal threat with prep time on top of stuff like that. He's a consistent threat for a lot of big heavy hitters like New Gods, the heroes of freaking Legion, like the literal Legion of Superheroes. Aquaman, earlier this video I showed you controlling Metron. Yep. Controlling all these characters. Yep. consistently. In this occasion with Wonder Woman, Flash, all these characters for Mind Blast. Let me backtrack for a second to get some more lore on Brainiac. A vast, superior intelligence limited only by the technology it currently inhabits. Better technology, better prep, and better stuff and more power he can produce, obviously. Knowledge of the universe is unparalleled, yet his hubris and emotions restrict its potential. He has his fair share of energy projection on Kryptonians, probes, stuff like that, fighting off the legion of superheroes and a young Superman. Not to mention this is Brainiac Zero, one of the very first ones, not even his best. His blasts are definitely fatal and a big threat to even Superman tier beings. You gotta dodge these attacks even if you're a Kryptonian. Energy projection, baby. I gotta admit, this is probably one of my favorite designs for Brainiac. This is the occasion I showed you earlier with the Omega Spears, but a little bit clearer. And those worlds are ash. Consistently blocking heat vision from Supergirl, like his drones are this strong, probes, stuff like that. All of Brainiac's ships always have like this giant looking face. He designed this creature with his intellect that acts as an antimatter. But something he designed can do this to planetary like explosions. Look how small the planet is looking in comparison to the explosion. His drones can even tank Kryptonian weapons. Like, don't even flinch from. He has these beings known as Visper phages. This other Brainiac, the good Brainiac. Then Supergirl were reacting to him and seemed nervous about him. This could kind of imply that they don't think they can take them on their own. She even stated here, no, 2 of them destroy an entire species in a day once. You don't want to fight them. And as powerful as she is, that's impressive. He has things like this in his possession. Not to mention he's able to hold Superman in place without him being able to break out, hold him hostage. His mothership, intelligence feat, was able to knock out Superman himself. His ships are pretty fast, like this Skull ship. Superman is even surprised at its speed. When characters like Superboy on Brainiac's ship, they're contained, they could barely smash against the walls and break out. Like, he's strong enough to contain them. He has ships like this that can contain Kryptonians like this. He said, not even scratched. And of course, he is completely connected to his mother's ship, knowing anything that happens on it. We believe by simply severing my body from my bioshell that I am incapacitated. I am this ship. This ship is me. Supergirl can't break out of his force fields in his ship, mothership. There's this time Superman was punching his ship, right? The shields of the ship. So he used a strategy to get in, but it wasn't through raw power. He actually had to use his brain. He states the area on the exact opposite side of Brainiac's ship will be at its weakest. Hit one side hard enough, draw all the energy to that one point of contact. All I have to do is get to that far point in 1,000th of a second to get there before the energy senses me coming and recalibrates. So he basically had to slip in a hole before the energy that Brainiac's shield can do notices him slip through. That's the only reason he was able to get in, not just from raw power. His shield is that strong. It's a feat for Superman's intelligence and skills and stuff like that, but man, just raw blunt force couldn't get it done. As strong as Superman is, that's impressive. Did I mention he has dope telekinesis? Makes like a storm. Knocks out Brainiac 3 was just his random tech he creates, like not his actual body. Disintegrates a gun, telekinesis. Does this to Superman, knocks him through multiple walls. Can mental attack folks and destroy them. I think I showed this earlier of him making a solid mental construct of Superman that can fight on par with Superman. If I had to guess, it's like a being of psionic energy looking exactly like Superman. That's the only way that would make any kind of sense, right? This is the part earlier I showed you when he fused with him, stuff like that, making Brainiac himself stronger to fight Superman. Milton Fine. Era. He can even sense Superman from outside the galaxy. As Milton Fine, he's great at making projections, which I forgot to mention earlier, so I'm saying it now. Overpowering other telepaths. Even while being far away, he can control a Kaluan death machine. He controls a whole bunch of legions and uses them to try to take out Brainiac 3. There's plenty of lore on Brainiac, one of the most knowledgeable beings in the universe. He said Brainiac 1 was my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather on my father's side. He lived 1,000 years ago, the most knowledgeable being in the universe. He has naturally a 12th level intellect, but his other people are still smart, like I mentioned earlier. Here's the proof of it. Our people are among the most intelligent and long-lived in all the galaxy. They enjoyed peace and prosperity 9,000 years, and they came my grandfather. 12th level mind, far higher than the standard 8th level colon intellect, but this was not enough for him. When he surgically upgraded his mental equity to unknown levels, the colon press dubbed him Brainiac. And this is why I showed you earlier of him out-hacking the other Brainiacs and their interface being a hologram, stuff like that. He was able to hack in and control Metallo because he's like a living virus. He has tech that can teleport across galaxies. He's always making tech to amplify his mind abilities. He created like this unbreakable shield so he can bottle the city of Kandor. Yeah, Kandor. Shield around it. Bottles it up. It has been stated that Brainiac has been destroying entire solar systems before, further concreting his level of power. During the Superman Doomsday Warriors events, he creates a time machine to travel to the far future to save Doomsday. showing his raw physical strength. Ain't that crazy? He's fought other Brainiacs like Brainiac 5, throws him against the wall. I mean, think about it. A probe from Brainiac can actually pierce the skin of Superman and actually cause him some discomfort. He even states, my spinal station can process and sort the knowledge of over 7 octodecillion beings. My Coluan brain 70 times that. Knowledge is power. Yeah, he takes knowledge is power to a whole nother level. Something you probably didn't notice, he was crushing Superman's hands so hard it actually started to draw blood. Yeah, just from crushing his hands. That kind of physical strength Brainiac has. And yeah, he's consistently controlling Green Lanterns. People that have the power of will, you know, stuff like that. He made these probes to do such a thing. Oh yeah, by the way, he can trap living stars. And this is what happens when Superman tries to break out of those little bottles they have them trapped in, like them little things he be trapping the cities in Kandor, stuff like that. Look at Superman's fist. He has tech that can depower people, a good way to hold him prisoner, right? It states, my powers are gone. And his telekinesis is that strong. Superman punches, gets sent. I know I showed this a little bit earlier, but I didn't really expand upon it. During the Our Worlds at War event, Imperiax, the abstract level being who embodies entropy, who is a Big Bang level being, universal level threat at the very least. Yes, Superman is sun-dipped in this occasion. Brainiac was such on a crazy level of power because he absorbed literally the godlike essence of a being like Imperiax. He was on a Big Bang levels of power at the moment. And this is the part I showed you earlier. Brainiac 13, affecting planets, the galaxy, the universe, like a literal plague, showing that if he has the access to envelop a big enough power source, he can become a universal threat, like a dang near crisis level threat. So on average, one could say he's in that Superman ranges to the point where even a sun-dipped Superman would need to fight a base Brainiac, because base Brainiac, his real self, might actually be too much for a base Superman, depending on how you look at it and depending on his power source and if he's on his mothership, stuff of that sort. This has just a lot of factors to go into it. And then if he has a big enough energy source, like in the Our Worlds at War event, universal size structure, if he wishes, or becomes the embodiment of entropy, kind of similar to what I showed earlier. It's just ridiculous how much potential this guy got. I left out the new 52 Brainiac feats in this video because I plan on doing another one about Brainiac far in the future because it was just too much to put in one video. I didn't want to scare people away with my hour-long videos. There's certain videos that get away with being an hour-long, and some people won't even click it if it's hour-long. I didn't know if enough people would care enough for this to be an hour-long, but yeah, that's why I didn't add those in there. But what do you guys think? Did you guys know Brainiac was this strong and smart? You probably knew he was smart, but you probably didn't know he was this strong based on his intellect. He's able to absorb that much power without getting overloaded, you would think, right? Isn't that crazy? Power absorption. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. How do you like Brainiac's spaceships being this powerful? Did you know his spaceship was that powerful? Oh my goodness. Containing Kryptonians, they can't bust out, shrinking cities, depowering people with prep, fighting Superman physically, stuff like that. It's just too much concrete evidence. Post some comments down below. And make sure you check out those playlists so I can see you more on the channel. You might enjoy those playlists if you binge watch it. And you might be addicted, and that's good. Be addicted. Ain't nothing wrong with binge watching. I will see you guys later, though.